Hey, in this new and first episode in English, we receive Justin Rosenberg. Born in Maryland, he shared with us his discovery of lacrosse at a very young age. He chose to play goalkeeper, then why he did decided to change his position, the reason he went to University of Vermont, his short stint in professional, and attachment was the French jersey. Happy listening. Hey, welcome on a new episode of the Relax Podcast, the French Lacrosse Podcast. Today, it's a real honor for me, and I'm very happy because in this podcast, we have the question who is the best player with you have to play. Me, I'm happy to say that today Haro saved the best player with I was lucky to play it because today I received Justin Rosenberg. Hi Justin, how are you man?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to be here, Kevin. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you very much, Justin. I appreciate to receive you on the podcast. It's a real honor.
I really do appreciate you having me here, and it is an honor. So thank you for saying that.
Justin, can you make a little presentation about you?
Absolutely. So I'm Justin Rosenberg, number 0 for France Lacrosse. I play midfield. I grew up in Maryland in the United States, but my mom is from St. Martin in the Caribbean. So my mom is fully French, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here and yeah, dive in a little bit more.
So, Justin, for introducing you on the Lacrosse podcast, man, I will start with my first question. How do you discover the lacrosse?
Yeah, so I discovered lacrosse when I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. My uncle had played lacrosse in high school, and I remember one time all my family was together and we put on his high school, like a recording of his high school all star game. And it was the first time I ever seen lacrosse, and I just fell in love with it. So, a big thank you to my uncle for introducing it to me.
Why did you choose to play it?
Play, I think just the speed and the physicality. I just believe it's like you have to be a complete athlete to play lacrosse. You have to be fast, quick. You have to have good hand eye. You have to have really good awareness. Um, so yeah, I just love it. Such a fast paced game. I mean, I was always fast, but I think the stick skills took a little bit. The passing and catching. So I was okay. I was okay, but I learned it pretty quickly.
So, how old are you when you starting to play?
I think I was probably 8 years old.
Do you start to play when you was at school or in the streets with your friends?
Yeah, so the first time I played, I think it was actually I went to a camp. Or no, I had a stick and I would throw around with my uncle a bit and some friends. And then the first time I really played was at a camp. So during the summer, on holiday from school and just playing lacrosse at camp.
So, after that, man, when you real starting to play in the club.
I joined a local club, and that was when I was, yeah, that was when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. Was the first team that I played on. I think it was I think it was when I was 8.
What was your position when you start to play it?
I so I started as a midfielder, which is obviously what I played now, but I transitioned eventually to play goalie. So I started as a midfielder, eventually played goalie, and now back to being a midfielder.
And why did you try to be goalie?
I honestly chose to be a goalie because I did like to make saves. I thought that was fun, but every time I would save the ball, I would just run down and then try and score myself. So I was like, oh, this is fun. I can make saves and then also go play offense. So I used to try and score every time when I played goalie.
Oh, really? So, how many score goal when you was goalie?
I think I scored 3 goals in my career as a goalie, but I definitely had some assists too. I had a decent amount of assists. I don't remember exactly how many, but yeah.
After that, you go to play to the St. John's High School. What is this high school?
When I was in high school, so the high school I went to was a really good high school for sports, and we were in a really good league. So we would play a lot of the best teams in the United States, which was really good for me. You know, I got a lot of exposure and experience playing really good players. In my high school in particular, we started off a pretty poor team, bottom of the league. But by my senior year, we were one of the best teams and competing against everybody. So it was a cool experience, and I obviously did well enough to go and play in college. So it was good.
And what was your position?
Yeah, so I was a goalie. Yeah. I was a goalie all my years there.
What was your best memories when you was at the St. John's School High School?
One of my best memories was a Friday night game, and we had played one of the better teams in Washington D.C. And this is right when my school was like starting to get a little bit better. And yeah, we played them on a Friday night at Georgetown University under the lights, and we ended up beating them by one goal. And I remember that was a really cool feeling, and that was just a really fun night. I remember after beating them, it was like it was one of the biggest wins that St. John's has had in a long time. So that's one of my favorite memories.
So, after you go to the Vermont University, why did you make this choice to go to the Vermont University?
Yeah, so it was one of so honestly, I mean, it was one of the few. So I had schools that I was looking at, but one of the few schools that had made me a good offer and like really, really wanted me to go there. So that felt really good, and then going and visiting the school. It's a very just beautiful school. And in a great town, right on a lake. So it's just very nice. And it was a school where I thought, I could have an opportunity to go and play right away. And that's what I was able to do. So it just felt like a really good opportunity and, a school that was on the up and up. So yeah, I was excited about it.
How did your recruitment go for University of Vermont?
So that was definitely one of the most fun times of my high school career is when you were getting recruited by these schools and getting to go and visit and yeah, just talk to all these different coaches and Vermont. That yeah, they made it very clear I think early on that they really wanted to have me, which yeah, just felt really good. So consistently was getting notes from the coach. I went on a couple visits to Vermont before I officially made my commitment. So it was yeah, it was a nice experience.
Okay, and did you made a showcase or not?
Yeah, so I did play in a lot of showcases. So during the summertime, I would, go to 4, 5, sometimes even 6, like, big like tournaments and showcases where it's just college coaches that you play in front of. And that's how you get recruited. And you just have to play well when they're there watching. And, that's literally what it was all about. Just every event, it's like, play the best that you can because all of the top coaches will be there. So it was kind of a crazy experience, honestly. Like it's just it can it can be stressful, and you know some kids like can't handle the stress of having all the coaches there. So it was an interesting experience. It was cool though.
And did you have over proposition about maybe over university?
I had offers from also Providence, and there were schools that so I committed in the fall of my junior year, and there were schools that wanted to wait until the spring to make any type of offer. And honestly, I really just wanted to make my commitment and be sure of it. And I was happy with Vermont. So, like another school was Rutgers that was planning to give me an offer in the springtime, but I didn't want to risk anything.
What you could studies?
I studied finance, so that was my major.
So actually, do you work in finance?
I do not work in finance. No, I realized that was going to be a boring job. So I I work in sales now. I work for a technology company.
Can you make a description about one day in the when you was athlete in D1 in University of Vermont?
Um, so yeah, I mean, your days are absolutely packed. I remember my first year in college. It definitely was an adjustment period having to do all this stuff. But in the fall time, I mean, I remember we would have lifts at like 6 a.m. Then you would go to class for a few hours, come back, do a practice. We would have like a ton of conditioning and agility stuff that would be separate from practice. So sometimes we would do that, after or before practice. And then we always would have a certain amount of study hall hours that we have to go to. So we would have to go literally be in a room together and you have to be there a certain amount of time of doing schoolwork or just being there for the week or you would get in trouble. So there it consisted of lifts, practice, agility and conditioning stuff, and then also we'd have to study. And then in the season it ramped up even more because we'd be watching film, of other teams. We'd be doing a ton of team meetings. So yeah, I mean the days were definitely busy.
How many time in one days do you training?
So one day we would our practices were 2 hours.
What was looking for training in the D1 University?
Uh, um, So honestly, it was a lot of fundamentals. So we would spend a lot of time in sticks drills. Like every practice, we would spend a ton of time just working on our stick skills. Outside of that, we would do a lot of unsettled things. So things like 3v2s and 4v3s and fast break and 6-on-5s, like just getting used to playing in like unsettled situations. And then yeah, a lot of like full field stuff as well, like with that, like getting used to, playing really fast and getting the ball up the field and being able to transition from defense to offense really well. So it was a lot of those drills. And, obviously then, like things like ground balls, spent a lot of time on that just to be really tough. So yeah.
And what was looking for the structure of Vermont Lacrosse? How many field maybe or gym?
So we had really nice training facilities. So we had obviously our own field that we would practice on every single day. We also had an indoor field because it was so cold, so we would use that some days. Um, our own gym just for the athletes, which was really nice. And then yeah, we had our own like training rooms where we'd have trainers for massages and any type of therapy. So yeah, it was nice. They took care of us.
How is equipment organized in Vermont University?
Yeah, so they had a contract. We had a contract with Nike, and then we moved to Adidas. Um, but yeah, so their contracts, and they supply us with all of our stuff that we wear. So like training stuff, jerseys, shoes, anything along those lines. They'd give us like hats and jackets sometimes. So they would give us a lot of they would give us a lot of stuff, which was nice.
So did you have the equipment in limited or just one pair of glove and one shaft an hour?
Yeah. So they would give you a specific, like, yeah, like, things like gloves, helmets. You would only have one. And same with the clothes. Like, you would get a lot of clothes, but it's only one of each. But there was a room where they would have shafts. Sometimes they would have an extra pair of gloves or more clothes. So you were able to get more if you needed it. But to start, it was limited. They didn't just give you everything that you wanted.
So Justin, when you was more young, you was 16 in ranking of the best goalie for it was a ranking by ESPN Rise. What was you feeling about this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, wow. I forgot about that. That's good research. Yeah, no, I remember being really honored to be in that ranking. You know, there are a lot of good goalies, and anytime you're getting put on any list of ranking of recruits, it was always a good thing. So it was good. It was a really cool feeling. I remember that.
Okay, so this ranking necessary to play with over best player, or in this ranking ESPN, or it's just a ranking that.
So that was just a ranking, but some of those showcases were specifically for just the best players where you'd have to get invited. So I did play in a few events where it's all just the top recruits, which I remember being a pretty it was a pretty cool experience.
What was looking for a showcase with the best player of the country?
I mean, really I think what college coaches are looking for is obviously you have to have the skills, but they really want people that have like a high work ethic and are coachable, just have like a good attitude. So people that are just positive, building their teammates up, being a team player. So those are the things that college coaches are really looking for.
So you sign your years after starting in goalie. You choose to make the transition to becoming a middle field. Why did you make this transition?
So, yeah, so at Vermont, I started at goalie for my first 3 years. And then my senior year, I started for like the first half of the year. But then I just wasn't playing well. So I went to the bench. And I remember after a couple games sitting on the bench, I'm just, that was the end of my college career. I knew I was one of the best athletes on the team and on the field. So I went to my coach's office and I asked him if he would let me try playing out midi. And yeah, he ended up letting me do it and it was amazing. So I'm very, very thankful to him for letting me do that.
Did you already have ability, or did you have to train a lot more to reach this level?
So I was able to like catch and throw well and because I grew up playing midi and I would still practice a lot with a short stick, but I remember in those first few practices, it was definitely uncomfortable, going from a big goalie stick to a small little head. And yeah, I still held the stick a little bit like a goalie. So I remember being a little bit uncomfortable, but every practice I got more and more comfortable. And I remember going out by myself outside of practice to shoot so I could just, get up to speed quickly. So yeah, the first few practices were a little bumpy, but I was able to get it pretty good.
Do you remember your first goal?
My first goal. So I never scored in college. I got really close. I got really close to scoring as a midfielder. But no, I never scored in college. So I mean, honestly, the first big goal I scored as a midfielder was playing for France against Belgium.
Oh, amazing! So you made your graduation in 2016. What do you made after that?
Yeah. So I remember I went home for a couple months, and that spring yeah, I didn't start a job after college until the summer. So in the springtime, I just went home and just trained a lot for lacrosse, and I ended up going to try out for the Chesapeake Bayhawks, which the Chesapeake Bayhawks were an MLL team. So the MLL was the professional league before the PLL, and so I ended up going and trying out for that team, and I made that team. So that was a really awesome experience. I played with guys like Miles Jones and all these just incredible players that I grew up looking up to. So yeah, that's what I did after college.
Oh yeah, amazing man. So what was your position when you was going to this tryout, and what was looking for a professional training camp?
So I played midfield, and what the training camp looked like. So we would get together It would just be for a weekend, and it would be, I believe it was just Saturday and Sunday is that we did it. But over that Saturday and Sunday, each day we would do a two a day. And these practices were obviously really intense. I remember we would do like inter squad scrimmages. We also did like scrimmage Navy's team. So yeah, it was just very intense practices and very tiring because I remember at that point I actually moved to San Francisco, so I was flying from San Francisco to Maryland for the weekend to do this, and yeah, no, they were tough practices. Obviously, playing against the best players in the world, so it was yeah, good
Okay.
experience though.
Who was the big player who you have met in this camp, and what has it brought you?
I mean, it was amazing. It just the players that were on that team, guys like Miles Jones and CJ Costabile and Matt Danowski and Lyle Thompson ended up joining that team and Josh Byrne. I mean, they were just such incredible players on that team. So just to be able to play with those guys and compete with them and play at their level was a really amazing experience.
Oh wow, yeah, amazing man, a real big name of the lacrosse. So, do you have the reason why you didn't sign a professional contract?
So honestly, it's because the MLO was really cheap. So I played in Maryland, but I lived in San Francisco, and they didn't want to pay for me to move, or not to move, but to travel back and forth between San Francisco and Maryland. So they didn't want to pay for the travel.
Were you able to keep from a gear to Chesapeake camp?
I do. I just have some like shorts and t-shirts, and that's it. Yeah.
So, despite this disappointment of not turning pro, do you continue lacrosse or take a break?
No, so I kept playing lacrosse even after, yeah, I didn't end up being with the Chesapeake Bayhawks long term. I kept playing in San Francisco. I played in the men's league. So yeah, wherever I've been, I've always tried to be playing lacrosse consistently. So that's what I did after playing for the Bayhawks.
Where did you have to opportunity to play after and now?
I played in San Francisco when I was living there. I moved to Washington D.C. and I played there as well. Um, and now being here in Arizona, I mainly just train in group settings. I don't really play as much on teams anymore here, but I still train a lot.
Oh, what was looking for the lacrosse in Arizona actually it's a big level?
It's grown a decent amount. There are some good players in high school teams, but it's not as big as other places in the country. It's still growing.
Have you played or do you play any other sports?
So I grew up playing hockey also. So that was the other sport. I played a lot in addition to lacrosse, and then I also played basketball. So those were the sports like hockey, lacrosse. I really focused on, and then I also played basketball.
And when you was playing in hockey, what was your position?
I played defense.
Okay, so Justin, I had a question who intrigued me. Why don't you like the country music?
um, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. How did you even know that? That's funny.
Yeah, man, I walk.
That's amazing. Oh my god. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's okay. I like some country music songs, but overall, it's not the thing that I listen to when I'm by myself and listening to music. But there's some good country music that I'll listen to.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your career in France team. To start, how do you get recruited?
So my mom had been pushing me for a while to reach out to France Lacrosse. So I actually just emailed the head coach and shared about my experience playing, and they invited me to a tryout to see if I could join the team. So I went to a tryout and obviously ended up making it. So yeah, that was literally as simple as me just reaching out.
Where did you go to? Where did you go to make this tryout?
So at that time, that coach coached at a college in New Jersey. So it was in New Jersey at that college.
Before to play for France Lacrosse, do you know what was a lacrosse in France?
I did not know that there was lacrosse in France. Honestly, I really didn't know that at all. And playing on the team, it's been so cool to see like how many people play lacrosse in France and how much the game has grown, and cities like Paris and all of these different places and all these different towns in France. So I didn't know, but it's so cool to see.
So, Justin, now, do you have your French passport?
Yeah, so I do have my French passport now. So I officially have a French passport.
So now that you have your French passport, what was your feeling about this?
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling to officially be able to say I'm French, and it just I feel like I feel a lot of pride about it, and it just yeah, it's exciting, and it's a real thing now. I can actually say that I'm French, and I have a passport, and you know, uh, I know it makes my mom really proud as well. And yeah, I love France. I love representing France, and just to feel like I have, I guess, more of a connection there now. It's a amazing thing.
And you trying to speak French?
I'm trying. I'm trying. We're gonna get there. It's one of the things that I'm really focused on is really working on the French, because
It's very hard.
that's the next step. I got the passport first, and uh now I got to get actually being able to speak it.
What was your best memories about your career, your player career?
My best memories. So I mean, in college, one of the best memories that I have is when we beat Stony Brook in the semifinals of the conference tournament. At the time, they were ranked 15th in the country, and that was the only time we had beat them in my college career, was in that playoffs my senior year, the last time we played them, and we beat them to advance to the championship. So that's definitely one of my best memories. Playing for France, my best memory I'd say is probably when we had beat Finland in the European Championships in 2022, and we beat them in overtime. So that's one of my favorite memories too.
And also, what was your worst memories?
My worst memories. So my worst memory would probably be um, so that when we had beat Stony Brook, made the championship, we ended up making it to the championship and lost by one. We lost by one goal. And if we would have won that game, we would have gone to the NCAA tournament, and we lost. We lost by one. So that's one of my worst memories for sure.
Okay, so we have the opportunity to see you this summer for the championship in Poland, man. And I see that when you score a goal or when you made assist, you have the you have made the celebration, man. Can you explain that?
um, I always like to. It's always fun scoring or assisting or just seeing your teammates score. So sometimes I can't help but just celebrate and just when I dance and have fun in the moment. So yeah, you may have seen the the little guitar kind of thing. So yeah, just something fun that I just comes to me in the moment. So it's yeah, I think everyone gets a kick out of it too, which is fun.
Did you make a trash talk?
Yeah, so sometimes I do talk a little bit of trash. Not as much as number 8, James Barlow, but I do sometimes I like to talk a little bit.
Could you come back a little bit on this tournament and give us your feeling on the fact that unfortunately you are not qualified for the World Cup, but that you have made a very good ranking.
Yeah. Overall, really proud of what we did, and how we played. I feel like our team has come such a long way in the last 2 to 3 years. So overall, just really proud. And obviously we wanted to be top seven and automatically qualify for Japan, but still just really proud of making the quarterfinals and finishing eighth for the first time and finishing with that high of a ranking and being able to play England. So I'm really really proud of what we did. 100%.
Justin, for you, what is the most beautiful jersey that you have worn in your career?
The coolest jersey is, I mean, definitely the France jersey, just because it's a ultimate sense of pride being able to put on a France jersey. So definitely, definitely, yeah, brings me the most just pride and joy is putting on that France jersey.
From what period?
I really like the jerseys in San Diego when we played in the World Championships a couple years ago. Really, really nice kits.
For you, who is the best player you have been able to play with?
Best player I've played with would be Ian McKay, who is a player that I played with at the University of Vermont, and he now is a professional lacrosse player. So he plays in the PLL and then the NLL, which is the Indoor Lacrosse League. So Ian McKay, definitely.
And the best player you could have played against?
So Lyle Thompson, so Lyle Thompson, obviously one of the best players ever. He played at Albany, so we would play Albany every year. So I played Lyle Thompson 3 times.
Already, I'm a big fan about Lyle Thompson. So, did you speak a little with him?
I did speak with him a little bit. He was a really really just nice and humble guy, and just happy to play lacrosse. It was cool. He yeah wasn't full of himself, just humble.
Okay. Justin, do you have any crazy story that's happening to you in your lacrosse career?
Crazy story. So I mean, probably the craziest story is when I played goalie in high school and sophomore year. In one of our first couple games, I broke my hand, and so I didn't think I was going to be able to play for that whole season. But then I ended up getting a cast, and I was able to play with it. And so I played my whole sophomore season with a cast, and I remember just hiding it. I would hide it in like the pregame because I didn't want other teams to know that I had it. So a lot of other teams didn't know that I was playing that whole season with a broken cat or a broken hand. So that was pretty amazing, and I played really well with it. So that was kind of wild.
Okay. Oh, wait. So, Justin, you had the opportunity to experience the French league. What did you think of it?
It was amazing to play for Orléans and represent that club. A great group of guys on that team, including you, Kevin, obviously, and yeah, we to win to win the cup, the Bordeaux Cup together, was just a really special experience. I'm looking forward to doing that again and playing with Orléans and seeing all you guys again.
The speed, the distance, and the money. Do you think we'll see you this season?
I think so. I definitely want to make a trip out there and play with you guys. So I'm gonna try my best.
What do you think about your integration in Orleans team?
I mean, you guys make it very easy, I think, to play with. I remember you all accepted me right away and embraced having me on the team and just made it really easy for me coming in my first time. So all the credit to you and all of the guys in Orleans to just accept me and let me play my game. So you guys made it an easy transition.
So, Justin, what was your weapon for the season?
I use this Warrior Evo X shaft, which is like a very light, like carbon fiber shaft, which I like a lot. And then I use the Evo X head, which is also Warrior. And so that's my weapon of choice. And then I use like soft mesh from String King. I have somebody string my stick, but yeah, that's my weapon of choice.
Have you ever played an unbox lacrosse?
No, I do not play box lacrosse. I really just focus on the field game and in sixes.
Justin, do you follow the PLL?
I do follow the PLL. Yeah, best players in the world, and it's so fun to watch, and it's just fast paced. So I definitely do watch the PLL.
Who is your favorite team?
I would say it's probably the Atlas, just because they have such good players. People like Jeff Teat and Schellenberger and Brian Costabile. They're just really good offensively. So that's probably my favorite team to watch.
Okay. What do you think about Denver and Brennan O'Neill?
Oh, I mean, Brendan O'Neill is just an absolute animal. He's so big and strong and just powerful, and yeah, he's really fun to watch. He's a really good player.
And do you follow the NNL too?
I don't follow the NLL. I've watched a little bit because of Ian McKay, who plays in the NLL and played in college with him. But I honestly don't follow too much of the indoor league just because I never played.
So Justin, we are quickly coming to the end of this episode. Before that, what can we wish for your future?
Yeah, I think I still have a lot of lacrosse left in me. I want to play as long as I can and, you know, take France lacrosse as high as we can make it, to the highest possible ranking and, get to world championships and get to the Olympics. I know we only have so many opportunities at these things, but I feel like I have some time left and more that I want to give to lacrosse. So, yeah, I just want to play as long as I can and just keep representing France lacrosse.
Do you have a last word for this podcast episode?
And I would just want to say thank you to everybody in France that supports us and is watching all of the games and cheering for us. Like we see all of that and it means so much to us and it gives us motivation and just yeah, having this connection to all of France, like all of the France lacrosse community, it just means the world. So just thank you for all of the support and you know, hopefully we make you all proud.
Okay, so Justin, I want just to say thank you a lot, man. I know that was it was difficult to make this to make the organization. You are in Arizona and I am France, so with the oral decalage, it was difficult. I know that maybe we are 9 hours. So again, thanks a lot, man. It was a real honor for me.
I want to say thank you so much for having me. It's like it's a true honor, and just thank you for everything you're doing for France Across. So I'm happy to join the Relax podcast anytime.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much if you listening this episode. It was the first time in English, so my apology to my bad English. Thanks again to Justin. We have it was a difficultly organization because we have 9 hours of decalage. So thanks a lot for Justin to take time for us. Thank you very much again and see you later.